Stay from 9 to 8 every workday. No fun at night, gotta hit the hay. But on Friday, now you've worked all week long. It's time to get out and say what's up, Hong Kong.
Hi, welcome to What's Up Hong Kong, the show where we tell you what's going on in Hong Kong this week and meet some of Hong Kong's most interesting people. It's April 2nd, and our guest today is local comedian Mary Ho. How are you, miss?
I'm very well. How are you?
Not bad at all. She's nice enough to host me here in Soho, and it's a lovely day outside. We got the, we should probably let people know this is going on before the actual date it's being released, and it's Sevens weekend here. I wanted to make sure I got to record with you before you headed out on vacation. So
yeah, I'm going on a trip to Nepal, bike riding through the southern lowlands. It's going to be a great trip.
That's really cool. You'll have to let us know how that was when you get back. So I should let the listeners know also that you are the master of the Ho joke.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
nobody that does a Ho joke better than Mary Ho.
Well, you got to be married to do a joke.
So, yeah, everyone should go and check her out at Takeout Comedy when you get the chance. I've seen her live, and she's very entertaining. And, let's learn more about you. So just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm from California, and I've been in Hong Kong quite a long time now, about 9 years. And I got into comedy about 5 years ago, but off and on, I kind of gave it a break for a little while, and I came back to it about August of last year, and now regularly performing at Takeout Comedy.
Yeah, you've been pretty consistent with it, right?
Mm.
Excellent. And what do you love about Hong Kong, coming over from California?
I love the convenience. I love walking everywhere, never having to get into a driving situation. I like driving, but when I go home to California, it gets old after a while.
There can be a lot of hassles associated with driving, so it's nice to be able to avoid it for the most part. If you really had a hankering for it, you could go rent a car or something, I suppose.
Yeah, I've never done that. I've never driven in Hong Kong, but I know there's car rental places, and
right.
I'm just scared to drive on the other side.
Yeah, have you done that before? Driven on the...
I have, but in New Zealand, and there's like no people,
right.
No traffic.
Nothing to run into there, except maybe sheep.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, cool. Who are your comedy influences?
I like Tina Fey a ton. She's just really witty, smart,
Yeah.
She's
like a triple threat. Not only is she a good comedian, she's a great writer and then a good actress as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I like Sarah Silverman just because she's so out there, she really pushes the buttons. And
yeah, she's one of the edgiest comedians, and you don't see a lot of that from female comedians.
Yeah, and
definitely.
She does the voices for I watched Wreck-It Ralph.
Right.
And I actually enjoyed that. It was fun.
Cool. So I've had many stand-up comedians on the show, but you are the first lady comedian I've had. And as a female stand-up, what do you think are the unique challenges that your male counterparts don't have to deal with here in Hong Kong, if anything?
Yeah, there's kind of this stereotype that I feel like women generally have to break out of, is that people just don't think women can be funny, And the other thing is that one of the first things that Jamie Gong told me about doing comedy is that you don't want to be too sexy, because the guys are just going to be staring at you the whole time, and their girlfriends are going to be hating you.
Okay, so you make sure to not be sexy before you... Because, normally when you're just walking down the street, it's nothing but stairs. So what do you do? Kind of dirty yourself up before you go on stage?
Yeah, I just, wear the most terrible clothes and just... I just try and be, modest, I guess. It's kind of terrible, but, you don't want to be distracting from what your show is if people are only thinking about sex or something.
You can go Hillary Clinton style, just go with the pantsuit and cut the hair short.
Yeah, I should get a red pantsuit, huh?
Yeah, you can look like a soccer mom or something. All right, and how do your parents feel about your stand-up career?
You know what? This is a funny thing about being a Vietnamese American, is that I really don't speak the same language as my parents. They speak Vietnamese, I speak English.
Right.
And so I've actually never really talked to them about doing stand-up. They don't really know about it. My mom came to visit me here last year, and...
So it's your dirty secret?
Well, yeah, not so dirty, but... secret, maybe.
But a secret nonetheless.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So they, no opinion from the parents. Well, I mean, how do you think they would have a real opinion about it, or they'd be like, oh, that's nice?
Yeah, I think they'd just be like, oh, that's nice, but they wouldn't get it.
Would they want to come watch you perform?
I think they would. Well, my mom would, I think, but I don't think she'd understand any of it.
Yeah, maybe not. Okay.
Even though I riff on her a little bit. Just, she's Mama Ho.
Digging into your bio a little bit, you are a self-described fitness fanatic. You think Hong Kong's a good place for people who like to stay active and fit?
Oh, yeah,
for
definitely.
you personally?
Because people always... Well, it's kind of a lot of type A personalities, I think, in Hong Kong where people want to achieve. And so I'm just surrounded by a lot of people who are into fitness, like triathletes. But I'm not actually very competitive. I just do it for the joy of physical activity.
Yeah.
So, but I can't seem to focus on one thing. I do a lot of activities like swimming, hiking, canoeing, whatever I can.
Any team sports?
Well, I've done outrigger canoeing, which is kind of a team sport. It's a 6-man boat. And have you ever heard of it? It's a...
I know people here are huge into dragon boating, but I haven't heard of the outrigger canoeing so much.
I did dragon boating for a couple years, and
Okay.
I like that as a team sport, but then somebody introduced me to outrigger, and I like that even more because it's more like an endurance sport, and you go a lot further in the water.
Oh, right, whereas dragon boating's a sprint.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How far do you go in an outrigger canoeing?
You can go around the island. Well, not in one training
but
session.
But it takes like hours.
You can. And the interesting part was that they do these water changes where you jump out of the water and somebody jumps back into the boat as a change. It's called a sea change.
Okay.
And if you ever, you should YouTube it. It's really
like
interesting.
A relay race, and there's no baton. Instead of handing off a baton, you're handing off a boat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that before, so that's a good tip for the people listening to, if they're into dragon boating, maybe there's another alternative for them.
Yeah, I totally encourage them to look up hkocc.com. They're based in Stanley. There's a couple other teams, but that's my team.
The Outrigger Canoeing Club.
Yeah.
Very
Hong Kong
cool.
Outrigger Canoe Club.
All right. And digging into your bio a bit more, you consider yourself a Soho socialite. What's that like?
Yeah, that's just tongue in cheek. What is that?
Tongue in cheek.
Yeah. I know all the best 7-Elevens in Soho.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Even Russell Peters' opening act last night. Actually, we should say we went to the Russell Peters first night last night.
Yeah.
This is going to be coming out quite a bit later than that, but it was a good show.
Yeah, definitely a good show.
I just got a message for everyone who's listening. If you have never seen an encore before, after the show is over, keep your ass in the seat and clap your hands for a few minutes, and maybe you'll get some more entertainment from the person you just paid, however much money to see.
Right.
But it was sad to see everyone stand up and walk out right away, and we missed out on more Russell Peters time. But I guess you actually got to meet him, though, so that was good.
Yeah, that was great. He was super cool. His team was really cool, too.
Yeah, a lot of perks to being a comedian here in Hong Kong. Get to meet some cool people.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't expect it. I was like, oh, maybe we could meet him, but it worked out. So it was nice. We got to meet him backstage and then went to the after party at Play. And I'm such a nerd. I've never been to Play before. My friend's like, have you been here before? So, yeah, and then he came later. And he's also a DJ, too.
Yeah, he's really into DJing, apparently.
Yeah.
I've seen his Twitter feed before. It's actually all about MMA and DJing, not about comedy whatsoever. He doesn't really post about comedy, which is weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
everybody has hobbies, huh? He's a full-time comedian. His hobby is DJing.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people don't, that's their job. So why take your work home with you?
Right. Yeah.
A lot of people try to avoid that. I certainly do. But yeah, his opening act had a bit about 7-Eleven, so even people who haven't really been here before find out pretty quickly that 7-Eleven's a good place to go to get your drink on.
Yeah, well, Ruben Paul's done shows at Takeout Comedy a few years ago.
Oh, has he? Yeah. I thought that name sounded familiar. I just hadn't seen him before.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. And what else? What else do you do for your entertainment here in the Soho area? Do you really just keep it cheap with the 7-Eleven, or you got some other watering holes that you like to frequent?
Peak Cafe is right down the street, so I'm kind of a big fan.
They got good food there too.
Yeah, a lot of variety, and quite a few new places opening. Motorino, the pizza joint, just opened across the way, and I was there on their opening night just a couple days ago, and
now do they do
pizza is quite good.
What kind of pizza? Is it
It's
like
New York
gourmet
style pizza.
Is it any? Can it touch Paisanos? Because Paisanos is like the shit.
Well, Paisanos is in the right price bracket, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And quantity, definitely.
Mhm.
I do like the crust, but the Motorino one is like a lot more thin crust, and
Okay.
yeah, you gotta try it. It's good.
Yeah, I think I will. Of course, whenever I'm a bit more mobile, I'll get around. Oh, by the way, like I edit these, so if there's anything you want to take out, or if you need to stop at any point, just let me know.
Oh, okay. Can we redo?
Let's redo the whole thing. All right. So you took up stand-up comedy in order to overcome your fear of public speaking. Is that true?
Sort of. I actually was organizing a company party one year
Okay.
for the company I was working with, and I was going to be the host,
Mm-hmm.
MC for that night, and I was like, well, I should try and be funny, if I'm going to be up on stage in front of my colleagues. And so
Right.
I went to Jamie's workshop. I guess we keep talking about Jamie, but everybody should know Jamie Gong.
Jamie Gong, he's a former guest on the show here.
Yeah.
If anybody hasn't, please go back and listen to the episode with him. He's got a lot of good inside knowledge of the comedy scene here in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I would say he's probably the godfather of comedy in Hong Kong.
He runs Takeout Comedy, which is kind of the biggest and best stand-up comedy venue here in Hong Kong.
Yep, definitely. So what I was saying was that I wanted to improve or be funny at my company Christmas party, and I went to his workshop, and then every time I'd see Jamie, I'd bump into him a lot in Soho or wherever. For some reason, I just kept seeing him. He's like, when are you gonna come and perform and all this stuff? And so I finally went to an open mic one time. I had all these excuses of why I wasn't going to go. I was like, oh, it was raining one night. Oh, whatever. So finally I showed up one night just to watch, and I saw a bunch of other girls go up on stage.
Oh.
And I was like, that's cool. They were inspiring me, you know?
I'm better than those bitches. Come on.
So the next week I brought some jokes with me, and it was such a thrill. Like the adrenaline, I couldn't even sleep after that. I was like, oh my God, like this rush. And so when you get a laugh, it's kind of like, it's so cool and
yeah, you get
fun.
that adrenaline rush.
And
are you an adrenaline junkie? Seems like maybe you are.
Maybe with all the sports things that I do too.
Right. Okay, cool. So I guess with your experience, how did your public speaking event go for work? Did it go well?
I think it went fine. I probably was still not funny then.
Did the
It's
workshop
a work in
help
progress.
you out?
Work in progress.
Okay. So how do you deal with the pressure and nervousness, anxiety, etc. before you go on stage or before other nerve-wracking events in your life?
Oh, so I just try and visualize what I want to feel like on stage. Like I just want to feel calm, in control, and taking charge of the stage. And I just do some breathing, do some stretching, because we normally have a little bit of a green room in the back, and so lots of stuff happens back there where people are like, oh, freaking out, and then and then we come on stage and we're like, we're ready to do the show, so
well, I know a lot of people out there, a lot of people listening probably would get that kind of anxiety. I think most people do. That's why you don't see most people on the microphone. So yeah, I think any tips you can provide them on how to get over it would be helpful.
Yeah, well, it's always with you. I think I've even asked comedians who are, professional comedians. They always feel like, yeah, you have to feel a bit of that nervousness. Otherwise, you're not really engaged,
Right.
So, but then you accept that feeling of nervousness, and then you channel it into your performance. And
have you gotten to the point now where you have times where you actually feel like very comfortable on stage, like you're?
It's still coming.
Yeah, okay.
But there are those times where I do feel like, yeah, okay, that was a great set, and I'm really happy. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, I was a bit too rushed or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just the energy that you have that day.
Mhm.
And I think what professional comedians do is probably they're just able to control it a lot more.
Okay. Do you find that whenever you have a really good set, then you feel good for that night, but then it probably the feeling kind of dissipates a bit, but then whenever you have a bad set, you dwell on it for like a really long time?
Yeah, I used to probably dwell on it a bit more, but now it's just like, well, next show, do better, you know?
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good to be able to brush it off and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, you kind of have to, because a lot of times people are really often very encouraging. We're all actually, this community of comedians is like ridiculously nice to each other. You know, we're always like trying to help each other with bits and like, you know, giving each other encouragement, high fives, and.
Well, how does that work when you help each other out with bits? Do you have like little powwows where you're hanging, or people come over to your house, hang out, sit around and brainstorm?
I think some people might do that, but I mean, I'm just after a show or after open mic, we hang out.
Okay.
And talk about, I'm working on this idea. What do you guys think? And
yeah.
So.
Well, you do definitely seem like you guys have a good time with each other. For anyone listening, if you go to a takeout comedy show frequently, after the show's over, they all go to the same bar here in the Soho area and have some drinks and meet the audience. And it's very interactive, very social.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
It's definitely a good time. What else? Oh, well, you know, there's also some other people who just regularly get together and write and stuff like that. So. Okay.
Excellent. Yeah, sounds like a great community we have here. So how's your Cantonese?
Boo hao. That's Mandarin too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I studied Cantonese when I first got here. And then I was trying to say stuff to people when I was going to the market or something, and they would just be like, I'm going to speak to you in English. This is a waste of my time.
Because of the tones.
So then I studied Mandarin for about 2 years, pretty intensively, but then I realized I never use it. I don't use it in the office. I don't like to travel to China, actually.
In Hong Kong, sure.
And so the important words I had to learn was like stronger. I think that's Li for when you get a massage, you know?
Nice. So is it ever trouble to be an Asian lady in Hong Kong that can't speak the local language?
Yeah. I get dirty looks sometimes or it's always that you're with somebody and they're like a Caucasian or something like that, and the Cantonese speaker will look to me to help translate or help facilitate or something, and it turns out that my friend who's Caucasian can actually speak Cantonese better than I can, right?
I've had the exact same situation, but in Japan, because my wife is Chinese, can't speak any Japanese. I speak some, so yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
but it can definitely be annoying to you, I'm sure.
I get stopped and asked directions from mainlanders a lot too, and then I'm like, I don't know, and they're like, they run off all embarrassed that they spoke to somebody who can't speak.
They're like, this Hong Kong is such a weird place. They got all these Asian people that don't even speak Chinese. So what can we expect from Mary Ho in the Year of the Snake? What are your big plans for comedy or otherwise?
What are my big plans for comedy? I've been so dedicated to comedy lately. It's like my whole life. After work, it's like 4 or 5 nights a week where something comedy related is going on. And because we have open mics twice a week and
so you're going to the open mics and doing whatever shows you can on weekends and clubs and wow. So you are very dedicated.
I'm hoping to just expand into other shows and being able to perform at different venues just to get more experience and get more comfortable.
Yeah. Have you done any of the shows through Comedy HK yet with Michael Dorsher?
Yeah, I do their open mics, and hopefully I'll be doing a show with them soon, I hope. And then
so they've been doing shows at Fill in the Blank too, right?
Yeah.
And maybe other places, I'm not sure.
I think they do Brewhouse once a month. I should be the first Saturday
in a non-open mic capacity.
Yeah, non-open mic. And then they've been doing shows all over the place. Like I think they have something coming up with Joyce Is Not Here as well.
What is that?
Oh, Joyce Is Not Here is that little artist.
Okay, like a gallery. Or
no,
not really.
How can I describe it? It's like a artist enclave, I guess, where there's music. They've done like storytelling, and it's just a little bar, but they just encourage a lot of.
Where's that located?
Lower Peel Street.
Lower Peel Street.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's we're learning a lot here on the show.
I'm shocked that you don't know about Joyce Is Not Here.
It kind of rings a bell. Like maybe I had an event before that I talked about on the show, but I've definitely not been there. So, okay, cool, good tip. And have you been developing with all this dedication to comedy like a lot of new material recently?
Recently, I've been writing more.
How do you come up with new stuff?
Actually, I realized that the standard joke is setup is setup, middle, punchline, and you'll learn if you go to Jamie's workshop. He'll talk about this kind of like format of writing your first joke, basically, and then when you develop your own style, like you kind of can get more in depth into it, because like you go to see Russell Peters, his style is not like that at all, right? He's telling stories and taking you on a journey with him to, I don't know, Home Depot in California.
Right.
and so what I'm trying to do now is just get deeper into the jokes that I have currently, because I have some ideas about, well, recently I've been working on jokes about having a long distance relationship, because I was in one last year.
Okay.
And so my joke is that long distance relationships are a lot like having a relationship with God, because there's a lot of rules but no sex.
Right.
So, but then, I have that joke, and that it's kind of like sitting by itself, and I'm like, I could write more about that, because because there is a lot more aspects to long distance relationships.
So you're taking one joke and one premise, and you can actually try to make like a 5-minute bit out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, very cool. So look forward to hearing more about how God, a relationship with God is like a long distance relationship here in future shows. All right, cool. So any other hobbies we should mention?
Hobbies, well,
what's cool for the people listening to do out there?
Okay, so recently I've gotten a bike that you can see behind you.
It's a nice one.
Or behind me.
Wow. Looks expensive.
Well, it was kind of one of those weird things where I'm really terrible actually at just making a decision sometimes. And I was in the bike shop, and I was like, okay, I don't want to waste any more time. I've tried 4 bikes, and I'm just going to go with this one. And it kind of freaked me out, because I was like, well, just put it all on my credit card, right? But now I'm really happy, because I've been trying that, and it's kind of scary because I'm riding on the roads in Hong Kong Island.
Yeah.
So I've had to wake up at the butt crack of dawn
Right.
to avoid the traffic. But it's been really fun. I just grew up riding my bike everywhere, and I kind of realized I miss it. It's just like that, the wind in your face.
Yeah,
and,
bike riding's a lot of fun, but you do find yourself doing it a lot less whenever you're an adult.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing to get back into.
Yeah.
Very cool. And are there any other groups in Hong Kong or elsewhere that you are affiliated with that you would like to mention here on the show?
Well, I did mention HKOCC, the Outrigger Canoe Club, and am I a regular at any other club type thing? Not so much.
Okay. What about outrigger canoeing and comedy for you?
Actually, I just do a variety of stuff. Workout and.
Do you ever use meetup.com for any groups there?
Yeah, I have actually. I was doing Meat Free Mondays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, have you heard about that campaign?
I've heard of the trend, but
yeah.
I haven't engaged in it.
Okay. I think it's such a brilliant idea, because I actually am an aspiring vegetarian. The word aspiring could give you leeway for a lot of things, I guess. But so I think Meat Free Monday is just so brilliant, because it's just a little thing that you could do to just reduce carbon emissions in the world, because we eat so many cows. They are the worst producers of CO2 and methane.
Methane gas.
Yeah. And we really don't need to eat that much meat, Our bodies can be really healthy without eating meat at every single meal. So Meat Free Monday is just like, hey, just try it one day. Don't eat some meat on one day, or one meal even. It makes a difference, right? Like if everybody just cut back a little bit.
Right. Well, I think Catholics are doing that right now with Lent. They don't eat on Fridays, except fish, I guess. But I don't.
Is that what Catholics? They all don't eat meat.
They're not supposed to on Fridays. Like the Lent is like a fasting period.
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
You're not supposed to eat more than 3 meals a day, like no snacking, and you're supposed to give something up, like sacrifice it.
Yeah.
I used to do that, but
Okay.
kind of not so much anymore these days. But yeah, okay. And a question I ask everyone: if someone was coming to Hong Kong for the first time, so like a tourist, and they only have 24 hours here, what is the one thing that they have to do while they're here in Hong Kong?
They
And-
have to eat dim sum.
Oh, hell
Definitely.
yes. And where's your favorite place to go eat dim sum?
Well, the most iconic is City Hall.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
good place.
Well, it's the only one of the only places that still has the push carts.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
And then, well, on Stanley Street, I guess it's the Look You Tea House.
Is that the Michelin star one? There's one in Hong Kong that has a Michelin star. It's like supposed to be the best.
Yeah, I've heard of some place in Sham Shui Po or something that's supposed to have really
Yeah, maybe
awesome
that's it.
dim sum.
Because it's pretty. It's not that expensive, but it's supposed to be really, really good.
Yeah.
I have to find out where this is. I
Yeah.
want to try it out.
Yeah.
If anyone listening knows, feel free to send your emails to travij@speakhk.com so I can go try it, and I'll pass the word on to Mary. All right, excellent. So dim sum it up. Okay, so let's get into our first game with Mary Ho here. A nice round of What's Up or Down Hong Kong.
Cool.
This is simply where I list off 10 items for you, and you tell me either up for, yeah, I'm into that, or down for, no, I don't really care for that. Okay, ready?
Sure.
Church.
Down.
Dancing up into club.
Down.
Candy.
Down.
Mondays.
Down.
The Harlem Shake.
Up.
Luxury brands.
Down.
Reptiles.
Down.
Flying.
Up.
Hard rock music.
Up.
Evening gowns.
Down.
Down. Okay, so what we gathered initially is you're pretty negative. No, so you like the Harlem Shake?
The funny thing is that I'm so out of touch is that I just heard about the Harlem Shake about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I feel like I'm one of those people where if I learn about it, then it's automatically not cool anymore
I know.
because I'm always one of the last ones to know. You
Yeah.
know? Dancing in the club, don't like it.
I had a great time at the after party for Russell Peters, but I'm not one of those people who likes to go to clubs that much, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some random dudes trying to grind up on you. No good. So you're too fit to like candy.
Yeah, that's true.
Just sugar and
Sugar is bad for you.
It definitely don't do the soda or anything like that.
A guilty pleasure might be a Diet Coke, but yeah,
No sugar
soda.
in that. NutraSweet is what's in
Yeah,
it.
but apparently even the
Saccharin.
flavor or the sensation of sweetness that's supposed to not be so great for you either.
Oh, it triggers something in your brain almost.
Yeah.
Brain chemicals. Mondays. Are you working Monday mornings each week?
Yeah. The weekend is never long enough, right? So
Yeah.
I'm always pretty sad on Mondays.
And you said down to reptiles, but so apparently you're a cat person.
I am very much a cat person.
Yeah, we have Mary's cat right here with us. Say something, kitty.
Meow.
Thank you. Yeah, you don't have occasion to wear evening gowns very often.
If I do, it's kind dressing up is fun sometimes, but it's so kind of uptight, those events where you have to get into an evening gown.
And we already established you prefer pantsuits. So. Okay. Well, thank you for taking part in that little game. I feel like we know you much better now. So let's get into the old news, just some current events. I wanted to leave it open to you for a story here, Mary. Are there any current events that you would like to discuss? Anything that you've heard about recently?
Sheesh, I didn't pick up the newspaper this morning.
Well, it doesn't have to be this morning. Anything recent? Anything that's been irking you?
My brain is not working right now.
Yeah. Well, you think about it, and I'll talk about a couple stories here and see if anything triggers a thought in your mind.
Okay.
The Standard reports that young drug users are staying hidden and refusing to seek help for their addiction, trying to keep it hidden twice as long as they did 5 years ago. However, this trend comes with a 42% drop in drug users during the same period. It seems that since less people are doing drugs, people are even more afraid to come out about their drug use. I don't know if there's a correlation there or not. Mary, do you have any message for Hong Kong's drug users, since you yourself have been abusing smack for decades?
You say keep it up.
No, just kidding. Clean and sober for Mary Ho.
Yeah. No, you drug users out there, just keep it up, you know.
Keep it up.
Everybody's gotta have a job, so if you don't use drugs, then what are the drug dealers gonna be doing?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. So they're keeping small businesses alive.
Exactly.
All right. Story number 2. A string of man-made islands between Lantau and Hong Kong Island is in the cards for the future of Hong Kong. The land created by this reclamation project will create 1,400 to 2,400 hectares of area, whatever the hell a hectare is. But I think it's a decent amount of space. Would you be up for getting a spot on one of these new man-made islands between Lantau and Hong Kong Island?
You mean they're actually gonna build property developments on there where people are gonna live there?
Yeah. They're I guess just gonna dump a bunch of dirt in the ocean and pile it up until
right.
they have these man-made islands.
I guess it's not. Reclamation seems terrible, but I guess we've been doing it for a long time now.
Yeah,
right?
if you've seen like the diagrams of how, somewhere I went, maybe it was like the Maritime Museum or something like that. No, it was the Hong Kong Yacht Club. They have all these photos of, shows you step by step how the harbor has been shrinking, just constantly from reclamation projects, and it's sad. And there's a lot of ecological disturbances whenever they do this, and people are worried about the pink dolphins, and
Yeah.
what about the crabs that are living in the spots right now where these
Right.
things are going to be living. So it's going to mess with the underwater wildlife for sure. But
Why do they feel the need to do that? Because still there's a lot of land out in new territories even,
Well, the more land that is there to charge lease prices for, the more money that's in it for the Hong Kong government. So I imagine that's a driver behind it.
Yeah, true.
And I don't know, people, they just like, they hate the new territories. Like, people are so unwilling to go that far away, or what they consider to be far away. I live out there. I think it's just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe this is closer to Hong Kong Island, and people want space closer to Hong Kong Island. I don't know.
Okay.
What do you think? Yes?
Yeah, no, don't do it. We're trying to manipulate our environment all the time, and I feel like we should learn how to live with our environment, live with what we have. And that reminds me too of just how terrible the government is about environmental policies in terms of recycling here, right? Like,
right.
I've noticed recently that they've replaced all the recycling bins, but
With just
now
waste bins.
Well, before we'd have these big plastic tub things, and now they're all burnished metal, but they're even smaller than before, because the problem before was always that they were always full, especially the ones in Soho.
So they solved the problem by making them smaller. Doesn't seem to make sense.
To discourage recycling, maybe, so that the bins don't get full. I don't know, but
yeah. And I've heard stories about how the landfills here, they have like one landfill. They don't have a ton of space here. And
they're
it's
running out of
filling
space.
up,
Yeah.
right.
And
Sad.
and people are always worried that you put your recycling into these bins, but you don't actually know if they get recycled, because I don't know if they just mix it back together.
Well, I think I just had a story on my last show about people who were taking some of the waste sanitation workers.
Oh, yeah.
They don't really care about recycling.
Yeah.
They're just not ecologically minded, really.
Yeah.
And they were just taking stuff out of recycling bins and tossing it in with the regular waste. And
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I think education is key for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me is that there's no government program for glass recycling, so I know a woman who has created Green Glass Green, which is she's collecting glass from Soho and Wan Chai, but she needs more support to get that going. And what they do with this glass is they take it to eco recycling place where they make bricks out of it.
Okay.
So
glass bricks.
Well, they mix it. They break the glass and mix it into.
with mortar or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Okay.
So, so that's really encouraging. But she's not able to collect enough glass for them, almost, even because they don't have the real expense is actually transporting the glass because it's so heavy.
Okay.
So,
All
so
right,
her name's
so
April.
April.
And Green,
Shout out.
Green Glass Green. Who
Green Glass Green.
needs support. And I think we should also patronize the Globe because they're very eco-conscious and recycle all the glass bottles that are consumed.
And they have a lot of delicious beers there as well.
Yeah.
So enjoy the beer and then
Feel
feel
good about yourself.
Right, definitely. So yeah, check out the Globe. It's a great pub here in Hong Kong. And yeah, if there are any entrepreneurs listening that are ecologically minded and you want to help somebody get their glass recycling off the ground, sounds like they're already underway. They got a good plan in place.
Yeah, yeah. They need more support to carry and collect the glass.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we should find out about that online. All right, cool. Well, yeah, that was a pretty good kind of current events piece you just added there. So thank you so much. The other thing I had here was let's talk about Russell Peters, but we already did that. So.
Okay.
All right. So thanks for joining on the old news, and we'll get into the 10 events section. You can chime in if you have any thoughts on any of these events that are coming up this week.
Okay.
DJ event ATB World Tour at the W in Kowloon. The world-renowned DJ performs with backup by Rudy. April 3rd, early bird tickets $360, advanced tickets $560, regular price $760. This must be a damn good DJ for that price. At the W in Kowloon. Art event, it's the last day of the Embryonic Plant and Other Worlds at 10 Chancery Lane Gallery in Central. An Indian artist showcases a new series of paintings and videos that explores the passage of nature's cycle and the temporal flow of birth and regeneration. April 3rd, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Are you into art much, Mary?
I love looking at art, but I recently went to the Affordable Art Fair.
Oh, yeah. How was that? I wanted to
Yeah.
go, but I wasn't able to make it.
Yeah, it was much more manageable than going to the Hong Kong Art Fair because that's like 3 floors of. You get overwhelmed, but
I
this
see
was
a wrapped up art piece behind you. Did you buy that at the
I
Affordable
did.
Art Fair?
I did.
You need to find a spot for it here.
Yeah, I have to get it framed and put it up. But
Oh, it's not even framed yet.
yeah,
Looks nice. Is that a photograph?
it's a print. Yeah, photo
Okay.
print.
Very cool. Yeah, so yeah, you definitely are into art. You're expanding your collection here. Let me see. A music event, Casino Demon at Beating Heart. I don't know much about the band, but I do like their name. April 3rd and 4th, 9 p.m. $182 it said online, which is a weird price to
Yeah,
charge.
it's kind of funny.
Have you been to Beating Heart yet? I heard
No.
it's kind of a new venue. They have a lot of music there. I haven't been there yet either myself. Another music event, Eternal Love by the Hong Kong Chinese Orchestra at Hong Kong City Hall in Central. A heart-stirring interpretations of Chinese folk tales through music. April 5th, 8 p.m. You think you could get down with something like that?
Not sure.
Maybe not up your alley. Let me see. We have a class that's gonna be going on, Close Up Magic, the fundamentals at Hong Kong Academy of Performing Arts in Wan Chai. It's going to be ongoing from April 5th through May 10th, 7:30 to 9 p.m. It's $1,080, and it's going to be on Friday evenings. So, anyone who's into magic and those kinds of close-up magic performances, go check that out. Have you? Are you into the magic shows? A lot of people think it's very like nerdy.
I have seen some magic show in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I
It's
thought. I
entertaining.
think comedians and magicians get along. They're both stage performers.
Yeah.
And a lot of magicians work comedy into their shows. Let me see. We have a photo art exhibit. They at Blind Spot Gallery in Central. Chinese photojournalist Zhang Xiao captures the daily life of the people of Chongqing in his titular award-winning series through April 5th, Tuesday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, we already know you're into photo art, so
Yeah.
let me check that out.
Okay.
Fun event, Hong Kong International Pillow Fight Day at Chatter Garden in Central. Maybe I maybe that was a typo. Is it Charter Garden or Chater Garden? I can't tell.
I think it is Chater.
Yeah, Chater. Release your inner child and join in this huge pillow fight. No feather pillows allowed, people. April 6th, 4 p.m. Have you witnessed this yet?
No, I haven't.
I've heard of other people going to it. Kay Ross, I know, mentioned that she had taken part of it before. And yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Music event, Ringo Death Star at Backstage Live in Central, an indie rock band from Texas. They'll be there on April 6th at 10 p.m., $200 advance, $250 at the door. So, yeah, that sounds cool. Go check it out. U.S. band in town. Business event, improv for the business world with friend of the show, Kay Ross. There she is again, at the Hive in Wan Chai. This is the one we talked about on the show with her previously, and it was actually postponed. So now's your chance to go and learn how improv, comedy, or just improvisation in general can help you in business and in your daily life. It's Tuesday, April 9th, 7:30 p.m., $300 to get in, and I think it'll be well worth it. Finally, an art event called Mirrors at Feast Projects in Appelé Chao. French artist Charles Jaulery turns the human figure into abstraction in his acrylic and enamel paintings through April 26th, Tuesday through Saturday, noon to 7 p.m. So yeah, the art exhibits always help us round things out if it's a kind of a slow week. There's always tons of art things going on, but yeah, some other interesting music events coming up this week as well. And that'll do it for the events. So let's get on to our favorite game before we finish up, 5Q. And this is where we just ask you 5 questions. Some of them may or may not have something to do with Mary Ho.
Okay.
And we'll keep track of your score, see how you do. Question number 1. You're a fan of UCLA, right?
Yes.
Okay, what the hell is a Bruin?
So UCLA was the offshoot of Berkeley, UC Berkeley. So
Okay.
Berkeley is the Bears, right? And so their colors are dark blue and yellow.
Mhm.
And then because UCLA was the outshoot of Berkeley, we have Bruins, which are also bears, a different form of bear, and our colors are baby blue and yellow.
That is correct. A Bruin is a brown bear. So.
That was a very long answer.
Yeah, well, you got it right, and I'm sure everyone at home is thankful for the explanation of what the hell a Bruin is. All right, so good job, 1 for 1, going strong here. Question 2, think of a lost civilization. Don't say it, just think of one.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Is it the Incans?
I was thinking that, yes.
Correct. All right, Mary has actually been to Peru.
Yes.
Before, so that's the home of the Incans. I'm sure that's why they stood out in your mind.
Yeah.
Did you get to experience some cool Incan culture while you were there?
Yeah, I hiked the Machu Picchu trail.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Do they let you go up Machu Picchu?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can still go if you don't want to do the hike. You can just take a train up. You can also stay the night over in Machu Picchu, and the dawn there is supposed to be amazing. I didn't quite make it at dawn, but
So we'll check out Peru, people.
yeah.
You got the
Next
recommendation
weekend.
here. Book your flights immediately. All right, so good. 2 for 2. Question number 3. Movies. The category is movies here. Let's see if you can name this movie. It's from 2002. A surfer kid, I'm going to give you this synopsis here. A surfer kid who dreams of going to Stanford to become a writer and to get away from his dysfunctional family household runs into one complication after another, starting with when his application is rejected after his dim-witted guidance counselor sends the wrong application. So he goes to great lengths with a little help from his girlfriend and his drugged-out loser brother to get into Stanford any way they see fit. Starring Colin Hanks and Jack Black.
Oh man, I didn't see that movie.
Didn't see this one.
No.
It may have something to do with you. I do have a replacement question. I don't do this for everyone, but I
Okay.
actually have one you can sub in if you'd rather try the other question.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that movie. Though the synopsis sounds very familiar.
Okay. Well, do you want to try the replacement question?
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'll just let you know the movie was Orange County.
Oh, right.
Orange County, where you were actually from.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I grew up in
Fountain Valley.
Fountain Valley.
Okay, cool. Well, that's a good movie, too. You should check it out. I enjoyed it. So the replacement question, what does SCUBA stand for?
Underwater. The U is underwater.
That's true. Okay, we got one down.
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Holy shit, you got it. I thought we were in trouble there, but yes. And I know you've been snorkeling for sure. I can tell from your Facebook page. Do any scuba diving before?
Yeah, so recently I went to the Philippines over Chinese New Year and did some diving there. And I also saw a whale shark.
Oh my god, that's my dream. I always want to go to scuba dive with a whale shark. That'd be so awesome.
Well, we got to snorkel with it,
Wow.
which was awesome.
But you still touched it?
No, not
no,
touching
you
it.
didn't touch it? Okay.
Well, you shouldn't touch it.
Oh, really? Did they get pissed off? The
Well-
whale sharks? They seem pretty docile.
Well, one friend, somebody I met on the trip, kind of analogized it to us just being like, you know, when you go outdoors sometimes and there's like all these flies above your head.
Oh, it's annoying to them.
But they don't notice it because you never look up, right? You never notice that those flies are flying over your head.
Sure.
So we're just like little flies for these guys because they don't look up, you know?
Yeah. They only look forward. Very forward-thinking animals.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, it sounds awesome. So with the replacement question, you're now 3 for 3. Question number 4. Which country's national animal would win in a fight, the United States or China? Do you know what the national animals are?
Well, I want to say eagle and panda.
Correct. The bald eagle and the giant panda.
So I kind of think that the bald eagle would win.
Yes, U.S. of course. Pandas just lay around all day. They're lazy creatures, and bald eagles are predators.
Yeah.
They patrol the skies.
They
and
might eat a little baby cub.
Yeah, it could be. Mary, you have actually touched a panda bear before.
Yes.
Yeah, how was that?
It was anticlimactic. I'd been like, oh, I want to go to Sichuan, and actually, was it Chengdu? We went to Chengdu.
Okay.
And went to the special panda reserve, and because I'd seen my friend had gone and he had held a little panda cub, and I wanted to be holding a panda cub too, but I ended up just petting one. It was good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So panda bears are cute and cuddly, nice to pet, but they would get killed by a bald eagle. We have to admit that.
Yeah.
All right. So, oh my God, you might get a perfect score here.
I know myself so well.
Yeah. Well, we're really going to test it here. The next question is rapid fire. So
Okay.
this is going to be, I'm going to watch the clock. You're going to have 11 seconds to answer this next question.
Ooh, pressure.
Yeah, it's not going to be, it might be easy. I don't know. We'll see. As soon as I end the question, it's going to be time to go on it, okay? Name your 11 brothers and sisters in 11 seconds. Go.
Nope. Wick, Vin, Ton. There's 2 Tons. Ton Tui, Wang, Feng, Min, Tawny, Key, Cookie, and me.
Oh, it took 13 seconds.
Really?
I'm sorry. But, dang. Mary is the youngest of 12?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
My parents had total disregard for population control.
Definitely. And I don't know, do you feel that has had any kind of profound effect on your life?
Yeah, right. Well, if you read my bio, it talks about how I come from a family of very bossy sisters.
Yeah.
I was always being told what to do. So now it makes me want to just go and command the stage.
But how old was your oldest sibling by the time you were born?
He's like 20 years older than me.
Only 20, though. Your
Yeah,
parents didn't
about
wait
20.
too long in between.
He's about 20.
Wow.
Actually, see, this is how terrible my family is. We don't actually remember each other's birthdays and stuff.
Wow. But there was a long portion of your mother's life where she was pregnant more than she wasn't pregnant.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Isn't it? It's crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's interesting to think about. Must have been a rough way of life.
Yeah.
So are you considered like the princess? I know whenever people have like 3 kids, the youngest one gets treated a different way, but after 12, it's like, how does that work?
Yeah, well, after you're 12, you're just like, another one. You know, my family didn't give me special treatment, even though I have to admit that I am my mom's favorite.
Nice.
And she lets everybody else know that I am her favorite too. So
Yeah, she was.
so there's no family resentment or anything like that.
They just kept going until they got the perfect child, right?
Yeah.
That's how it went.
That's how it goes. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Well, you were so close on that one, but I think you got 4 out of 5, which is better than most people do, to be honest. I think 2 is like the average. So.
Really? People
Yeah.
don't know themselves?
Yeah, it's weird. It always ends up being more difficult than I think it should be. All right, so let's get the plug section, and that'll be it. So see Mary perform at Takeout Comedy on April 11th and April 12th in the days leading up to the 1000th show on the 13th. But for the love of God, don't skip Mary's show to go see the 1000th show. See them both, because Mary is the funniest lady in Hong Kong. No pressure. No pressure on you, Mary.
Thanks, Travis.
Is there any social networking platform that we should be aware of if people want to follow you? Or 'cause I
Yeah,
noticed
we
you're
were just talking about how terrible I am on media. You can't find any information about me on Facebook or Twitter. I think I will learn to use technology. I sound like a really old lady.
Do you
but,
remember what your Twitter handle is? Maybe people can follow you.
It's Mary Comedian, I think.
At Mary Comedian. Maybe.
Maybe.
There's a lot of Mary Hoes out there, so.
Yeah. So actually look me up on the Takeout Comedy website, and then hopefully I will soon have a Twitter link that I will mention on there.
Yeah, you can definitely find her name on the schedule for Takeout Comedy at takeoutcomedy.com, so go check that out. You also have her bio and profile there. You can find out more about her and see her pretty picture on there. And yeah, I was going to say you have a Facebook page, but I'm not sure we want strangers to try to contact you on your personal Facebook. As for What's Up Hong Kong, subscribe to the show on iTunes and put us in your favorite folder on Stitcher. Leave ratings and reviews. Don't forget to check out the other podcast on the network, Dear HK, for the time being. I'm thinking hopefully we'll have a new Cantonese podcast in April, but we're still working on that. It'll be nice to have something for the local people to listen to, though. And yeah.
Are you going to be doing that in Cantonese? Do you speak Cantonese?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm depending on some people I know to deliver some good content, but I'm still going to be publishing it on my website, helping them out with the editing and everything. So yeah, it should be a fun project to work on.
That is interesting, because how will you edit when you're like, oh, what did they just say?
Yeah, right. I'm going to need them to keep the time of whenever they want something edited. Or
wow,
I don't know. We'll work it out somehow. Oh, there was one thing I wanted to mention. As we mentioned in a previous show, local Hong Kong singer Ella Alegre has entered an online international jazz competition representing Hong Kong, the Made in New York Jazz Competition, and she's going to be competing with different jazz musicians from all over the globe. Go to madeinnyjazz.com, madeinnyjazz.com, to vote for her, and we want our local musicians to kick everyone's ass internationally. So, and you can actually listen to some of her performance there. I believe she actually covers a Beatles song or something like that. Yeah, I think it's a Beatles song in jazz form. It's pretty cool. So please go to the website, vote for her, and let's send her to the top of the rankings, win the competition, and bring home the gold for Hong Kong.
Go Hong Kong.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So do you have any other words for the listeners before we finish up?
Be kind to each other. And
That's
stop
true.
drinking so much.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of the immortal words of Bill and Ted. Be excellent to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So for Mary Ho, this is Travis Jones signing off. That's what's up.